What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm your co-host, Mark Izzo, and with me for the foreseeable future, I have my other co-host, Dillon. Dillon, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. How are you? Lot to talk
Um,
about this week in wrestling.
yeah, this was definitely a busy week of wrestling. Some good stuff, some not so good stuff. So if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Burnt Hammer. Stay up to date with when we release new episodes. You can follow Dylan on Instagram at Dylan O'Brien 714. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Mark Izzo _wave. If you're watching this on the YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're listening to it through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it, make sure to follow, subscribe, whatever it is they do on your specific platform to stay up to stay up to date with when we release new episodes. So, AEW Fight for the Fallen, the first show of two was last night. We're recording this on Thursday, July 28th, and it was a hell of a show, but one thing and the only thing we're pretty much going to talk about is AEW revealed and announced that they are going to do trios championships. The first champions will be crowned at All Out in September. I believe it is within the first week of September is when All Out is. And so I'm just going to share my screen real quick so we can take a look at these beautiful belts. And so, Dylan, while I'm pulling this up, who do you think is going to be the first champion?
Um, so I think it makes. I think it's gonna end up being a faction with like a leader type thing. I could really see it being House of Black. I think House of Black would be like the best choice, in my opinion. Well, I mean, what about you? House of Black, I could see it going to in I could see it going to Undisputed Elite, give it to Fish O'Reilly and Cole.
Yeah, I think, and you can go back and read the blogs that I've written, but I've been saying AEW needs trio titles for quite some time now because they have so many really good factions and they have so many just like trios of people
Yeah, they really do.
that are like super talented. I mean, personally, it has to be the House of Black, in my opinion. I think
Yeah, it has
there
to be,
is
right?
no other team. They're
I
like
think this
they
is
have proven
almost
themselves. They've
I
proven
feel
themselves to be like super dominant, and I think that like yes, they've done good at like storytelling and stuff with the House of Black, but they haven't won any gold or anything. Like they haven't had that much success in those terms with like gold and title matches. So
yeah.
I think this
In
would
my,
really
in
help
my opinion,
solidify them.
so in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think that's probably why they decided to do it, like announce them now to put them on House of
Yeah.
Black. I think they were just like that's the team to put them on. That's like so I would say those are probably your favorites, right? They're probably the favorites. House of Black.
Yeah. I mean,
Undisputed Elite probably has a chance. Maybe get like some people in the Jericho Appreciation Society.
yeah, I
Maybe the
think
best.
that the best friends, that's
Yeah.
another good trio. And the Undisputed Elite are actually making their return next week on Dynamite. So it'll be interesting to see with like Adam Cole. They're advertising it as Cole, Fish O'Reilly, and the Young Bucks.
Hmm.
So I think Cole and Fish and O'Reilly would be a good trio that you could very well do. Um, Recently, the Young Bucks have sort of been becoming friends again with Hangman Adam Page. Last night, they were seen like talking with each other before the Dark Order sort of like interrupted them and then was like took Hangman Adam Page from the Young Bucks. So I could see
Hmm.
the Young Bucks and Page being another trio since they seem to be like mending their broken friendship.
Or Omega when he gets back.
Yeah, that's
Omega with the Young Bucks.
yeah, that was something that there were reports that Tony said that they're waiting to do the trios belts until Omega returned. So, I mean, he's returning at it said him, Punk, and they said Cole were supposed to return at All Out, but Cole's already returned, Danielson's returned, so I mean, hopefully Omega will return at All Out, but I mean,
Do
they
you
could
think
do
that
people.
you think the goal for All Out would be not Omega, Punk and Moxley, or
I think I think there's two champions that really stick out to me. That would be the interim champs to face Punk, and that being MJF or Omega. Now, both of
Mhm.
them are like not on screen and haven't been on screen for quite some time, but those are like since they crowned Moxley as the interim champ, I don't really think he was going to be the one to face Punk at All Out. If that's even when he returns, I think that either MJF or Omega will return to face Punk as the interim champ
Gotcha.
to
So
rejoin the
I think
belt.
I feel like they're gonna want MJF to be the one to beat Punk though. So who knows? It doesn't matter. We don't got to get into it right now. But yeah, we talked about it before. But yeah, dude, AEW knows how to make some good looking belts as well. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's there's not a single belt in AEW that is ugly. And even like the TNT and TBS championship, which they're like
That literally
very
have like the logos of the channel on them,
yeah, like even
and they're
those
not
like
ugly.
aren't
Yeah.
yeah. Cuz I know I've like come at WWE before for just like having their titles where it's just a giant WWE logo and it's being like
Colorful
super in your
straps are
face.
not the move, dude.
The only one you
White or
can
black
do
strap is I could get behind blue maybe.
no, the only one you can do is burgundy. Burgundy's a slept on
Yeah,
strap color.
I'm saying I can't get behind the universal. I thought blue, like a dark, like navy, like bro. There was a blue belt that I liked. It's not the universal though. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
And
about
that's
that.
hopefully that's something that like everyone's talking about that may be the newly crowned head of creative Triple H. Maybe he will change those titles up a little bit because they are very in your face. I mean, I like I wrote a blog before for my personal website and I ranked every belt in WWE, but like it's crazy how much like both the tag team belts, they're the same design, just different colors. The world
Like
titles,
all the
even
belts.
yeah, they're all like the same design, just different colors. Even in like NXT, um, but that's a conversation to be had for another day.
Yeah.
In case you lived under a rock, Triple H is now the head of creative in WWE after Vincent Kennedy McMahon announced his retirement from the WWE amidst some allegations, sexual misconduct allegations against him that's being investigated. He's said to be, they said he had to pay out I think it was around 16. It was either 12 or 16 million in like hush money that he paid out to former employees for sexual acts and things like that. He retired, and his son-in-law, the game Triple H, is taken over as head of creative. Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan are going to be co-CEOs of the company, and I'm excited for Triple H to be head of creative. It's something that I've just been praying for quite some time, and I'm not saying that because Vince said he's retired that he's not going to have his finger or his hands in the mix on creative, but I think Triple H is going to do a lot of good for WWE for the future.
Yeah, totally. I think we've been waiting on it's something that we had a feeling like was gonna happen. It was probably gonna end up being Triple H once Vince was out. And we didn't think it was gonna happen now. We didn't think it was going to happen as soon as it did, but amongst what Vince McMahon has got himself into, and amongst his retirement, it kind of sped up the process a little bit, and we get Triple H. Because I'll tell you, like this, they definitely didn't want this. That's what I mean. Like this was like obviously people know that like Vince didn't want to retire, but like this was like, dude, like Triple H just like he gave up NXT not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like it was Vince did not want to give up creative control, dude.
Hell no.
But it's really good. It's really good. I'm really excited. Triple H. The biggest thing with Triple H, man, is that he's a wrestler. Like he's a wrestler. And he knows what it's like to be a wrestler. You know what I mean? He understands. He didn't come up through as like an owner of the company. You know what I mean? And it's really going to and he has a much better relationship with a lot of talent than obviously Triple H than Vince McMahon does. Um
Yeah, there's a lot of talent that said all I've heard or like read was so many people were saying positive things about Triple H during their time in NXT, and how you could just tell he cared about you. And a lot of people were saying like AEW wrestlers are now going to jump ship back to WWE. Tony Khan put a quick stop to that, stating that the two popular wrestlers were Adam Cole and Malachi Black, and Khan stated that they're both under contract for 5 years. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of AEW wrestlers are just going to automatically jump back, but I think this is definitely a big step. Um, WWE is going back to TV 14. I think we talked about that last week, but SummerSlam on Peacock is listed as TV 14 now,
mhm.
which is pretty sick. So I think that's probably going to be the first event that they have it as TV 14. And my biggest thing is like for the longest time watching the black and gold NXT, and this would be like probably from like 2017 to like 2020ish, 2019 maybe. NXT Black and Gold, I've said it so many times, they were better than Raw and SmackDown for the longest time.
Mhm.
When they had like Samoa Joe, they had Finn Balor, they had Gargano, Ciampa, Adam Cole. They had so many talented wrestlers, and
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, Zayn.
Yeah.
Uh, they had so many talented wrestlers, and for a long time, I would just watch the Black and Gold NXT way more than I would watch Raw or SmackDown. Um, so I'm not saying it's gonna be like the Black and Gold NXT,
The
but
women's revolution, dude, happened because of NXT pretty much. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
women's wrestling revolution and that whole thing. Those were all
they had
NXT women. That's when Becky and Charlotte and Sasha came up. You had Paige. Um, even yeah, dude, so many.
and they
Bianca.
had a lot of like first time women's matches in NXT as well, because they had that the first ever Iron Woman match between Bailey and Sasha, which is probably
Yeah.
one of the greatest women's matches of all time. Um,
Bailey and Sasha at NXT Brooklyn was like
yeah,
that's one of my favorite matches ever. It's
yeah.
a crazy
So
ass match.
yeah, if you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out. And I would definitely go back and check out some older NXT stuff because they put on so many good matches. A lot of wrestlers who are in WWE now, they put on some bangers in NXT, like the Viking Raiders. They had a ton of really good matches in NXT. FTR, and they had a lot of really good matches. Remember Chad Gable and Jason Jordan? They had a
Bro,
hell of a run in
Alpha Academy
NXT.
was so fire, dude. Like
They
they
were the
were
shit.
so good. And they were gonna pair them with Angle. It was and it was gonna be fire, but then uh Jason Jordan got hurt. But
Yeah. Well, they did have that weird angle where Jordan was like Kurt Angle's illegitimate son.
yeah, I
That
remember.
was
But
super weird.
they were going to have like an actual like that like team or whatever.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know FTR has had some seriously good matches with the
Could be
the Alpha
FTR,
Academy.
dude. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, FTR is on a hell of a run. They're the real belt collectors, man. I'll tell
I,
you.
well, I was thinking it could be FTR, could be the people who were like, "Oh, maybe we wouldn't have left
Yeah.
if
Um.
Triple H was in control."
Yeah, so
It
I think
changes a lot. It opens the door for so many people to come back to WWE that you didn't that like we thought was probably impossible.
yeah, and
Opens up the
just like
possibilities.
just because he has such a good relationship with all of the talent, like he doesn't just treat them as workers. You could tell that he cares on like a personal level. And another really good thing that was in NXT was the Cruiserweight Classic. That was like one of the best
Oh
things
yeah,
that
the
they did in
Cruiserweight Classic
NXT.
was fire.
They had so many wrestlers. They had Zack Sabre Jr. They had uh what's I can't there was someone else I can't remember in New Japan, but they had a lot of really talented wrestlers, and they had Mauro Ranalli on the call with Brian Danielson, which was fire. And I remember because Brian Kendricks hit someone with a burning hammer, which is
Yeah.
banned in WWE, and Danielson lost his mind, and it was awesome. So there's definitely a lot of really good stuff on NXT. Now, I'm not saying WWE is just going to immediately be fixed, but this is definitely a good start for the future, especially with them going to TV 14. Um, I just think this is a huge, huge deal. It's going to make their future very bright. And like you said, there could be a lot more talent that are going to come from all over the place. In just because Triple H is now head of creative, they know that that's someone that they can talk to. And I think he's also head of talent relations as
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
which is another big deal. But Triple H was at they held open tryouts. Well, not open tryouts, but they held tryouts for SummerSlam weekend. They invited over 20 college athletes to come to SummerSlam weekend and sort of showcase their skills in ring on the mic with promos and everything like that. Triple H is there scouting, and Paul Heyman was there. He gave a really good speech, and so there's also a lot of like independent wrestlers too that showed up. So
Mhm.
the future is bright for WWE with Triple H being behind creative, and we might have seen one of his first creative decisions with Seth Rollins and Riddle being taken off of the SummerSlam card. Now, Fightful Select, they reported that it was because of creative adjustments that they took it off of the match card. They said it's going to take place at Clash at the Castle now, but with how plans change in WWE, we don't really know when that match is going to take place. But SummerSlam does take place July 30th. That is this Saturday. By the time you're listening to this, it is tomorrow night. And me and Dillon, we are going to go over the entire match card and give you our predictions for the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. Now, we're recording this before Friday Night SmackDown, so there might be a match or two that gets added to the card.
I
Uh,
find it hard to believe Seth doesn't, especially after the tweet. I don't know if you saw Seth's tweet.
yeah, and
Triple H
triple,
responded and said, "I
yeah,
hear you."
I
Bro, like obviously I was going to say like Triple H of all people is not one to like he's not stupid. Like you don't fucking no one's happy about taking Seth Rollins off a card. Like off the card, you know what I mean? Like that in my
yeah,
opinion there just had to be like more to it that they were just like, you know what I mean?
yeah. Well,
Isn't Riddle hurt?
they said it's hurt. They claim he's hurt, but
Is
um,
it like part of the storyline?
yeah,
Gotcha.
because they just said it was a I forget what like the technical term is, but they just called it like a stinger. So it's supposed to be
Bro,
like a
people
bad
in the
stinger.
yeah, people in the NFL miss like multiple weeks because of that shit though.
Yeah, yeah, because you like lose all of your weakness.
Yeah.
So they said it's going to be postponed until he regains full strength. Fightful sort of reports that it's really just because of creative adjustments.
Gotcha.
Believe what you want.
Mhm.
Um, I also have a hard time believing that Seth is not going to be on this card. I think someone tweeted out
Triple
that
H
it
of
was
all
like,
people, like no, you know what I mean. Like Triple H is the Seth guy. Like Triple H was like the original Seth guy.
yeah, wasn't Seth the first NXT champ?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
um,
saying. Triple H is like
yeah,
the original Seth guy. Triple H is like the original
Yeah.
Seth Rollins guy.
Yeah, so I also have a hard time believing that he's not gonna be on the card.
Yeah,
Everyone's praying that it's gonna be Johnny Gargano, who, didn't sign an extension and he hasn't shown up anywhere. Some people are saying it could be Carmelo Hayes in NXT because he sort of tweeted at Seth as well, but if Gargano comes back and faces Seth, that would be sick.
bro, I think it is.
That would be
I think it
awesome.
makes sense. I think I think Gargano has like obviously Gargano and Triple H have a great relationship. Um I think I just think it makes sense.
Yeah, and I think a big
And I think it'll
reason
make
why.
everybody happy. I think it's going to be like a big like you know what I mean like a
Yeah.
oh, this is what we're doing now kind of thing. It would be
Yeah.
good. If you want to make a statement, that's how you do it. Triple H wants to make a fucking statement that he's here to like do some cool shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how you fucking do it. Is you bring back Johnny Gargano and put him in against Seth Rollins and let him
s- the second
have
biggest
and
show of
give
the
him 30
year.
minutes and let him have a match of the that's how he honestly, yeah, bro. If Triple H wants to make his impact, that's how he does it. He has that be like the second match of the night or whatever. And it's Gargan or like the second to last match of the night or whatever. And he has
Dude, I think it should kick off the show.
oh,
I think
kickoff would be good. No,
You have
yeah,
Seth
no,
come
you're
out.
right. You're right.
You have Seth come out to the ring. He's pissed off that he doesn't have a match. Triple H comes out. Seth,
Yeah.
Seth, Seth. I'm sorry that Riddle was unable to compete, but I found an opponent to face you
Yeah,
for
and it's
tonight.
Gargano. Yeah.
And then
That's
Gargano comes out,
yeah, that's
shakes Triple
perfect
H's hand.
actually. That's perfect.
That'd be
And that's like,
fire.
bro, you want to make a statement, you want to fucking, you know what I mean? Kick
Yeah.
your you know what I mean? You want to like mark your
Well,
territory. That's how
and
you
I
do it.
think that was a
Nobody will be
now
complaining about that. The
I
only
didn't
problem
read
is the
it.
rest of the show is probably going to be kind of shitty compared to that.
Well, yeah, then you gotta figure out they'll probably do the Mysterios and Judgment Day match next that
Yeah.
no one's gonna watch. Because like Gargano had so much success in NXT,
Yeah.
and I think I now this is just me speculating, but I think a big reason why he didn't re-sign with them is because he knew if he went to Raw or SmackDown, they just weren't going to do anything with him, as
Yeah.
they do for a lot of those like smaller guys in NXT, and that's why a lot of people have requested their release. So I think if he knows Triple H is gonna help him and not just like throw him to the curb and have him chase the 24/7 title. So I think it could be big if Gargano comes back because, like you said, it's a big message. Like, yo, shit's different now. You don't have to be huge to
Yeah.
be able to
No, yeah, it's
wrestle.
huge.
All of like the former NXT people, like, I care about you guys. Like, you can come back and you can do something like meaningful and wrestle. So,
Yeah, I
hopefully,
think
it'll
same
be
thing.
Johnny
I think you're
Gargano.
gonna see Champa. I think you're gonna see Champa moving forward. Start to get like a more respectful storyline or something. You know what I mean? I don't think you're gonna see
Yeah,
him losing to fucking Logan Paul or getting any fucking roll up pins or anything. Um, I think guys like that, guys like Champa and Owens um and
Zayn.
yeah, Zayn. I think you're gonna stop. I just think you're not gonna see them losing to like shitty roll up. You know what I mean? Like shit that Vince
Yeah.
did. Like I don't think you're gonna see shit like that happen anymore.
Do
Hopefully.
well, dude, the best part is like Theory's kind of fucked now, right?
Yeah. Theory is
Like,
kind of fucked.
dude, and Roman had a great
Yeah.
line.
The your
Your
daddy's not
daddy's
here
not here.
anymore.
Yeah, that was
So
sick.
what do you think's up with that though? Are they gonna still have
Um,
him cash in? Like what is he
I
still
dude, I read reports before that said that it is the Money in the Bank was going to be an unsuccessful cash in, and that's while Vince was there. So I think the odds of it being unsuccessful now are have skyrocketed now
okay.
that Vince isn't there. Um, dude, like I don't know. I'm not big on Theory. Like he's talented, but like I don't know. I'm just not like feeling it with him, especially if they're like labeling him as Vince's guy and Vince isn't here anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
well, what do you do now? I think he needs to hit rock bottom to build himself up by
I think
himself.
he obviously has the talent. I just think he needs to yeah, figure it out. I don't think they're just gonna throw him to the curb because of the fact that he's Vince's guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what like Stephanie and Triple H are gonna do. But I don't necessarily think he's by any means going to be pushed to superstardom anytime soon.
I think the best way to handle it is he needs to hit like a rock bottom, sort of like Becky did for like a few weeks. She just kept losing. So I think you need to have him hit rock bottom, and then he's like all by himself because like everyone's just kicking the crap out of him now. And so if you have him hit rock bottom, he can build himself back up
Yeah.
by himself. And so I think that's would be the uh proper way to do it. So let's jump into some predictions here. We're gonna go over the entire match card. There's a decent amount of matches. Let's just speculate. Let's say Seth versus Gargano. If it happens, who you think's Gargano or Rollins is gonna take it?
Dude, I don't know. If
I
Gargano wins, that would be pretty fucking crazy, in my opinion.
I think if you're
Don't you
gonna
think
have
that kind of? But also, I agree
yeah,
though. But if you're gonna have him come out,
because it's like first
if
of
you
all,
do it, you have to give him 30 minutes, and you have to tell him to have a match of the year.
you gotta let him ball out.
That's
That's
what I'm
what you
saying.
gotta
Like,
do.
you have to give him a half hour. Like, you got to give
Because
him
that
time.
because there's it,
I
I
think
read
that's what Triple
something.
H will do. Like, that's what I think you're gonna see a lot. That's what I think a big change with Triple H is gonna be. Like, I think you're just gonna see a lot more like of Triple H like going to two guys who are about to have a match, like theoretically, let's say like Gargano and Rollins, and just be like, "Yo, you guys got 25 minutes. Like, give me a match of the year." Like, I think
Yeah,
he's gonna say shit like that. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, and
I think that's gonna be like it's gonna be a lot less of like weird like storytelling. Not storytelling is a bad word, but like I want to say like acting during a match in a weird way instead of like just wrestling. And it's just like,
yeah, because I read this stat. It was like a week or two ago, and when I read it, they said that Seth Rollins had the most losses out of any WWE superstar this year.
mhm.
Um, which is like insane to think about. He has been on a losing streak.
He also probably has the most matches.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I think Seth needs a big victory, but I could
Mhm.
also understand if they have Gargano come out and have him win because it's sort of like the same thing with Cody when he came out. He didn't know who his opponent was. He didn't know he was supposed to be able to wrestle. He was going to wrestle that night. So I think that could be another way to do it. Would be like the same exact way they did the Cody Rhodes storyline.
Yeah, I mean, and I think either way, obviously they'd probably end up having another match. It's just like put Seth in the ring with anybody. It's probably gonna be pretty good. But
Yeah, I was pumped
um
for him versus Riddle.
I was too. I yeah, it's a bummer that that's not gonna happen. Uh, But if we get Gargano, that'd be sick. I think Seth wins though. I'm gonna say that. I think Seth
Yeah,
would win.
I think Seth needs a pretty big
Yeah,
victory.
I think Seth would need. Yeah, like you said.
All right, so let's go on to the probably one of the matches I'm least looking forward to, and that is going to be Logan Paul versus The Miz. Uh, Logan Paul, he signed a contract with WWE, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's officially a WWE superstar. Um, he sent a very clear message to the Miz after he signed the contract. They had a Miz TV, I believe, and the Miz said that him and Paul were going to wrestle together at SummerSlam. Paul had different plans. Paul was on the Miz TV show. He attacked the Miz. They got into a scuffle, and now it is the Miz versus Logan Paul at Slam. The Miz has sort of hired Ciampa to be like his bodyguard, his assassin. So
Mhm.
I really don't care for this match. I think it's like
It's just rushed, bro. Like you just can't. They're just doing too much.
it's I just think of like when I see these like dumb matches, I just think of all of the talented wrestlers that or that
Yeah.
WWE has on their roster that I would
Seth
like to
Rollins isn't on
see.
this card, dude.
Dude, AJ Styles isn't on the
Yeah.
card. That
AJ
seems like he
Styles
should.
is not on this card. Logan Paul
Um
is.
yeah, so it's weird because like you can't have Logan Paul be a babyface because he just already has so much heat and everyone hates him. But I also think that The Miz is best when he is a heel. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it. I think Paul is probably going to surprise a lot of people with his wrestling abilities. Their match at WrestleMania, he didn't do too bad for himself, but he did have a lot of heat. uh, I could see them doing something dumb and having Logan Paul win in his first match.
Yeah, that's my prediction, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Paul as well. I think the only way the Miz will win is if like Champa gets in interrupts the match or something. But I think Paul's gonna win. I think that it is not gonna be a great match, and I'm really not looking forward to it. Could have done without it, if you ask me.
Next.
All right. Let's move on to one that I'm a little excited for, and we're going to do a Pat McAfee versus Corbin. Now, this is one that I think they've done a pretty good job at building to.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee,
May I say something real? I gotta say something real quick. So this is
you're
like the
allowed.
This is this is the difference with like the like in celebrities that come into the WWE. Because you can just Pat McAfee respects the craft, dude. It's not a money grab. It's not a
Yeah,
money. Pat McAfee does not. I'm not saying. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Pat McAfee does not need this. I'm not saying Logan Paul needs it either, but like I don't know, like Pat McAfee, you just like he's there week in and week out on commentary. And Pat McAfee, dude, he's done a lot for the WWE at this point. Like he really
yeah,
has. Like he's given a lot to the WWE and just given them a platform through his podcast, which is like one of the biggest podcasts in the world. Like he and that's one of the big. I mean, maybe Logan Paul will do the same. Like, end up doing the same thing. I'm not like saying that Logan Paul's like a piece of shit, like human being just for joining the. I'm just saying like, dude, Pat McAfee respects the craft. If Logan Paul wants to get the respect of wrestling fans, show us that you respect the craft. You know what I mean? I'm not
yeah,
saying you don't respect the craft, but you haven't shown us that you do.
yeah. And I think that showing us that you respect the craft is putting in the time and the effort to train to get better. And we've seen Pat McAfee wrestle before. He's
Pat
wrestled at
McAfee,
NXT
dude, puts on
Takeover.
some fucking dude. He wrestled at Mania. He puts on
Yeah,
some. He dude, Pat McAfee is, dare I
he'll
say,
surprise you,
a talented in ring wrestler. Like he is
dude.
good. He's put on some
Him,
matches. He and I will say he usually gets the help. It's going to be interesting to see him in this match though, because his other matches we've seen him in, he's been in the ring with like super talented wrestlers. And I'm
yeah,
not saying Corbin isn't super talented, but he's no Adam Cole, and he's
yeah,
no, despite the jokes I make about Austin Theory, he is incredibly talented in ring. That's
Yeah.
for sure. And
Yeah.
Corbin is no theory. So we'll see. McAfee might have to carry this match a little bit.
Yeah, dude, because McAfee wrestled in the War Games in NXT. He
Yeah.
wrestled Adam Cole, he wrestled Theory, and then got his ass kicked by Vince McMahon. Um,
Yeah. Forgot
um,
about that. Vince McMahon's
dude,
last match was a victory over Pat McAfee.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited for this. These are two guys that were roommates. They were on the Indianapolis Colts together in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Um, dude, Pat McAfee's just electric. There's no
Yeah.
other way to describe it.
Oh
He had a
yeah,
hell
I
of a
will say.
promo on
Despite that, I
SmackDown.
wasn't necessarily like talking shit on the match because, and just like the the storyline, I guess, or you know what I mean, like the feud, because I am quite excited.
I'm excited for this because I feel like, first of all, his first match that he had, which I think was, I can't remember if the War Games match or the match against Cole came first, but whichever one it was, he surprised me and probably a lot of people with his performance. And I feel like every match that I've seen him wrestle, he's gotten better and better
Bro, from that first one,
significantly.
we were like, oh god, we were like, Pat McAfee like actually like wants to wrestle.
Dude, remember he did the backflip off the top rope and like
Yeah.
landed it, and Cole was like, "Dude, what the hell was that?" So, I mean, I'm pumped. I think this just has such a better build than Miz and Paul, and I know that we were
I love
just like,
McAfee. McAfee is like a
he's the
part
man.
of the WWE now, though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's not just like,
yeah,
oh, Pat McAfee. Like he's full. He's in, bro. Like he's in, and
dude.
he's been in for a while. Like he's in.
He he wasn't on SmackDown for 1 week because I think he was on vacation, dude, and I was pissed. I like didn't watch
Yeah.
SmackDown that week because he wasn't on the call. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Pat McAfee is gonna go down as the greatest signing in WWE history.
Yeah. So
I will die
I
on that
this
hill.
is just a real quick question. What's up with that? Because I know their contract is like weird. Is he like on? Is he like under contract? McAfee?
Yeah, I believe
Cool.
he signed an extension too
All
with
right, dope.
WWE.
I could have sworn that I recently saw he signed an extension, but I'm like making sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Steve's
Um,
bro, he's done a lot for the company.
he's
I really love watching him. He's sick.
he's definitely a
And
difference
he's so
maker.
good on the call, dude. He's so good on the call.
He's the best
He's so
in
dude,
WWE.
he's so good. Him and Cole too. Like he has made
Yeah,
Michael
I
Cole
love them
better.
together.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
love
they're
them
a
together.
great tandem. They're great together. Like
Yeah.
who knew it would take this long to find Michael Cole? Like Michael Cole's perfect pair was fucking Pat McAfee.
Dude, it's just because like McAfee just has fun. And I think
Yeah.
that's what, like, after so many years of like Cole being with someone was always like super serious, like you can't joke
Yeah.
around, like you could just tell that like Cole's having fun, McAfee's having fun, his energy just radiates to Cole. And
Did you
dude,
see
there's
the
just like so many time.
have
Wait,
you
go,
seen the
go
video?
ahead.
Did you see the video, like the angle, like the desk angle? It would be like the same angle that our cameras are on us right now. Of Liv Morgan cashing in.
I think I might have seen like a
It was
clip
like
of
the
it.
webcam angle of like McAfee and Michael Cole like watching Liv Morgan cash in, and it was just like hilarious. It's just funny. Yeah, it was good. I got McAfee.
Yeah, I'm also taking McAfee. Also, I just want to I don't know how McAfee is allowed to do this, but he keeps calling Corbin a douchebag
I
on
know.
like national TV. I don't know if he's allowed to do that, but
We're
it's
TV-14 now,
hilarious.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
so
that's why.
I don't know. I'm pumped for this. I'm taking McAfee. Um you're taking McAfee. I think
Yeah.
I want to say this too. I know that Corbin gets a lot of hate, but I don't think he is necessarily as bad as everyone makes him out to be. I think he's pretty good in the ring. He's good at generating heat with the crowd. I just
Mm.
think this gimmick is not, it's tired, it's worn out, so I do think that Corbin is a better wrestler than people are actually giving him credit for.
Continue
All right.
as normal. I'm going off camera for a second, but I'm still here. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to a match that I am really not that excited for. It's something that recently just got uh added to the SummerSlam card. It is Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio taking on the Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Uh, Balor recently took over at the Judgment Day as the Judgment Day leader. They eliminated Edge for some reason. If you ask me, it happened a bit too soon.
I
Mysterio.
heard Edge won it out. That's
Oh
what I
yeah.
read. That's what I read.
Well,
But just so you know, because I was pissed about it too, and then I like stopped really caring like about it, like because I was like I would like legitimately like kind of pissed about it, like to the point where I would like watch the Judgment Day on TV, and I'd be like, why the fuck isn't Edge in this group? Like, why couldn't they just have all four of them? And
yeah.
then and it would like actually piss me off, and then
Hmm.
I like looked it up. Apparently, Edge wasn't into. Edge was trying to keep it really like dark, almost like a cult, and he wasn't into like the dark magic, like the weird mystical elements that they're bringing into it, kind
Hmm.
of.
Yeah, and there's Ben Vignes, I believe that's how you say that have been appearing on Raw, and it's pretty much confirmed that it is Edge. Um, I swear Bray Wyatt trends every time they show one, but it's not Bray Wyatt. There's clues that are in it that makes it pretty obvious that it is Edge. Rey Mysterio just had his 20-year anniversary in WWE on Raw. It was a pretty entertaining celebration, and one of the big things that I didn't really realize was like someone pointed out that they shot Ray's family watching the TV, but they shot it like how people actually watch TV, like looking straight at the screen. Because like every time they do something like that, where they have a wrestler watching the TV, they're just like watching it from like their side, like this,
Mm-hmm.
which is like not how you watch.
TV, yeah.
Yeah. So they were like, dude, Triple H came in as like fix that already. But so
I didn't see that.
they Mysterio were celebrating, and then Rhea Ripley came in, and then
Oh yeah, that shit was
Dominic's
lit.
sister. That was sick.
Bro, Rhea is giving off like China vibes right now.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
she's
And I'm here for it.
she's so good.
It's super sick. Oh yeah, I've been like we've both been on the Rhea
Yeah.
train. It's not like and it's not like we're like in the minority in that Rhea Ripley's of like the people know the Rhea Ripley has been with the shits,
The word is out.
but no, this is definitely good for her. I'm loving what she's doing right now. And she's the perfect woman on the roster to do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
And so Rhea Ripley came in, she interrupted their celebration. Um she just like grabbed Mysterio and like drug him outside of the room, and then Priest and Balor just like ambushed him. They kicked the shit out of him. Um, Finn
Didn't they
Balor.
rip off his mask?
Um,
Or am I
I'm not
tripping?
sure. I'm
No, they
not
might have
sure
did that a
if they
different day.
did
They
that.
do that shit all the time
Um,
now. It's not even like
they did it to the Lucha Bros, both of them in AEW. They like
no, I'm
recently did
saying
it.
they do it to Rey Mysterio. Like
Well, if you
they
have a
do,
mask, it's gonna come off. Like they're trying to rip that shit off.
yeah, I know, but
Um,
they do it to the where it's just like every few weeks, and you're just like, oh my god, like it's not a cool thing. It's not a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
there's no like shock factor to
Yeah,
it.
there's no shock factor to it anymore.
Um, Balor had a great line when he was just like kicking the shit out of Ray. He was like, "It's not your anniversary, it's my birthday." Because it was
Yeah,
like
I know. Yeah, yeah.
his
I
birthday
saw
that
that.
day.
Yeah, that was
That
funny
was
as
so
shit.
funny. Um, I mean, I think it'll be a decent match. I would like to point out we have been saying that Dominic and Ray, they need to split up. We've been waiting for it. It hasn't happened yet. We thought maybe the match Dominic against Ray would happen at WrestleMania. It hasn't happened yet.
I
Um,
thought it. I think it's gonna happen this Mania.
I think I I think that Ray is going to turn on Dominic in this match because Dominic said
You think
they
Ray
were
turns on Dominic?
yeah. And
That would
so
be sick. That
yeah,
would be
and
fucking sick. It
well,
makes way more
cuz
sense
like
for Dominic to turn on Ray though.
I know. But like
But if
it
Ray turns on Dominic, that would be way cooler.
give him his first heel turn. That would be gnar.
Dude, but the thing is everyone's gonna root for Ray.
That is true. 'Cause
Everyone's gonna
everyone
boo
hates
Dominic.
Well, it's because Dominic Loki joined the Judgment Day. They were gonna hit Ray with a concerto. They're like, if you don't join, we're gonna bash your dad's skull in. He was like, I'll join, I'll join. And then they kicked the crap out of Dominic and said, you're not in the Judgment Day. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Um, but then in their match on Monday Night Raw, and this could be nothing, but Rey Mysterio, he wrestled in the match. He had purple and black gear. Just saying. So that's the colors of the
Oh,
Judgment Day.
Ray joining the Judgment Day. Dude, that's the
Dude, I'm
move.
just saying,
That's
black
a
and purple.
Triple
Just,
H. Bring it in.
just
If that shit
saying.
happens, all
That'd
right,
be
yeah.
tight.
So I definitely got the Judgment Day winning this match. I
I
hope
do too.
what you just said happens though.
Yeah, I think the Judgment Day is gonna win because Mysterio is gonna turn uh, on Dominic. So I'm praying that would happen. That would be so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Especially just I don't know. I'm always a fan of like people who have been like baby faces for so long. I like to see them like dip their toes in the water of
Yeah, and this
darkness
would be a
and
cool
evil.
thing to kind of round out Mysterio's
Well, and
career.
I feel like he could just be like pissed at him because he's like not doing good in WWE and he's been holding
Yeah,
him back when he's like aging and stuff. So I think it's
yeah.
they very well could do that. We're both taking the Judgment Day on that one. Let's move on to the United States Championship match. Bobby Lashley, your champion, taking on Vince McMahon's protege in theory. Um, I'm not that pumped for this match, if I'm being completely honest.
I'm just kind of ready for this feud to be over. But
Yeah.
I got Lashley.
I'm also going to take Lashley because I believe we are going to witness the spiral of theory, but I think he's going to lose. And I mean, we'll get into the cash in later, but I mean, it's been I prefer Lashley as a heel, but it has been nice seeing him as a babyface, and he's been doing a great job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never get over the fact that they broke up the Hurt Business. They should have never broke up the Hurt Business,
Yeah, I don't
and
know, bro. That shit was
I'll
so
die on
yeah.
that hill.
Whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, and
No, I'm with
Cedric
you. I'm with you.
Alexander's a Triple H guy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Remember at the Cruiserweight Classic when he lost the match, and then Triple H came out and gave him a
Yeah, I do
contract.
remember that actually.
Dude, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. It's pretty sick. Um, I think I agree. I think Lashley's going to win. I think it's the right call. I think we're going to see the downward spiral of theory, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that good. I'm not too excited for it. I'll probably hit the bathroom during this match.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a very long match either. Probably.
Well, yeah, I don't think so either. So we're both taking Lashley to retain his United States Championship. Hopefully, that'll be the end of this feud, and Lashley can move on to something more meaningful. And so, another match that I am actually super excited for are the Usos, the Day Ones, taking on the Street Profits for all of the tag team gold in WWE. Dillon, who do you got?
All right, so this goes into what I think might end up happening later into the night, which I'm still probably gonna confuse you and end up you're gonna think you know what I'm thinking, but you don't. I think the Street
Okay.
Profits are gonna win. Um, and I think that's going to be the beginning. And I think this is going to be the beginning of the collapse of the bloodline. Um, but I got the Street Profits.
Yeah, this one I have a tough time deciding on because with every great group there comes the breakup, and it's sort of hard to predict like when they are going to sort of collapse. Um and the reason why I have a tough time I'll get into with the main event, but I think there's been rumors. Everyone's saying push Montez forward. The dude is huge. He's a freak in the ring. But I think Dawkins is also a little bit slept on in the ring with his abilities. I think he gets overlooked, which is, I think a lot of people will get overlooked with Ford standing next to them in the ring. But I I'm gonna take the Usos. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take the Usos because I think that they're going to give Ford a little bit of a push. And I'm not saying that they're going to break up the Street Profits because that's something I that I really just it irritates me because you don't have to break up a group. If like you have a group and you want to give someone a singles run, you don't have to break up the group. You can just let them go and do their own thing. That's what we talked about is so good about the Blackpool Combat Club. Everyone just sort of goes off and does their own thing. Um, everyone is saying with the New Day, they're going to break them up. They didn't really break up. Big E just went and did his own thing. So I
Yeah,
think like they'll still team together, but I think Ford and Dawkins might go do their own thing. I could see Ford chasing one of the main event titles, and then maybe Dawkins goes after the mid card title, something like that. Because I don't think the Bloodline are going to break up quite yet. So I'm going to take the Usos to retain the tag team gold. And I will say they need to revitalize this tag team division, and I fully
yeah,
trust Triple H to uh
yeah. I'm
to do
really,
that.
really looking forward to it.
'Cause, I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. They have so many talented wrestlers, not only singles competitors but tag teams as well in WWE. So they definitely have the resources there to really up their game. So moving on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, we have your champion Liv Morgan taking on Ronda Rousey. Liv Morgan cashed in at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and she ultimately beat Ronda for the belt, and now she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Dylan, who do you got and why?
I got Liv, and before Triple H came into head of creative, I had a weird feeling they were gonna put it back on Ronda, but I really hope Liv retains, and that's what I'm gonna go with.
I think I agree. I think Liv is going to win, but I think that it is going to be at the helping hand of Natalia. I don't think Natalia is completely out of the picture yet. I think she's going to cost Ronda the match. I think Liv deserves to have a clean victory over Ronda. It would do a lot for her.
That's what I
Ronda is
think.
big. Ronda's big on Liv. So I'm praying that they just have her win cleanly because that's sort of something that WWE doesn't really do that much. Is just have someone win cleanly, and it's not going to hurt Ronda Rousey. Let's be honest. I think Ronda's gimmick and character and persona,
She'll be
it's all
fine,
very
bro.
it's stale right now. I think her losing cleanly could send her into into like a heel run, which I think
Hmm.
she would really benefit from. And she said she wanted when she came back, she wanted to come back as a heel because everyone was just like shitting on her
Hmm.
when she came back. So I'm going to take Liv Morgan, and I think it's going to be at the help of Natalia, but I'm hoping it's clean and that we'll get a Ronda heel turn. And you're taking Liv Morgan as well to retain. Let's
Hmm.
jump over to the other women's championship. You have Bianca Belair taking on Becky Lynch. Um, I'll tell you who I got. I got Bianca Belair. I think she's going to retain, and I think we are going to get a Bailey return. That's right. You heard it here first.
Bailey return would be sick. I do think I'm with you on Bianca retaining. Do you think Bianca will retain? Um, Bailey return would be sick.
I feel like they've done this Becky versus Bianca so many times, and like Becky's been constantly trying to get the Raw Women's title. I think it's going to stop here. I think Bianca's going to win cleanly, and then I think Bailey's going to come out to confront her, giving her a new opponent, a new challenger for the Raw Women's Championship. I am
Yeah.
praying to the gods that happens. I could also see Sasha Banks return. Banks and Naomi got suspended. WWE handled that situation very poorly. Um, excuse me. I think with Triple H as the head of creative, he will really take control of the women's tag titles, bring back some meaning and prestige to them because they still have not announced what they're doing with those titles yet. They
Yeah.
said they're going to tournament. There has been no official, no additional information on that, and that was a few months ago that they said that. And they even half of the now I'll tell you, I don't watch NXT, but I just saw some clips and half of the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions threw the title in the trash. So half of that title is vacant. So I think with Triple H and head of creative, that would help Naomi and Sasha return, and I think they will help bring back the tag team titles. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha returns, which would be pretty sick. Moving on, the main event, the moment everyone has been waiting for, the final match between these two beasts. It is your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, taking on the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, in a last man standing match. They're advertising this as the final match between these two. I'm praying it is. I doubt it will be. I believe this is their seventh main event match for a pay-per-view over the last probably like 7 or 8 years. So we've definitely gotten a lot of Brock versus Roman. Dillon, who do you have and why?
I got Roman because I think that's the only thing that makes sense. Is to have Roman Reigns win this match, and then I think Theory will probably cash in and almost win, and then Roman Reigns will beat Theory, but then when Theory almost wins, he'll like snap on the Usos and be like, "Yo, fuckers, he almost fucking won. What the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like do something like that, and then I
He would
think
also be pissed that they
that they
lost the
lost.
tag team
Yeah, so
titles
I
as
think
well.
that will be the beginning of the end. I don't know, dude. It could be, dude. So are they gonna do? So they're gonna do the Rock versus Roman at Mania, probably, right?
Most likely, yes. And I know you've predicted
When
that
does
they.
that start? Like, when does
Um,
that? You know what I mean?
I mean, The Rock's a busy man, dude. I don't know, probably a week before WrestleMania.
No, you know what I mean. Like, they're gonna build that. Like, they're gonna start advertising that thing now. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
same way they did for like Roman and or Cena and Rock. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I
think
think, and it's like the storyline is already written itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's you have like the Rock come in and he's like, "Hey, I don't like the way that you're using our family name, and you're not the head of the table. I am," and some shit
mm,
like that.
I think that they Solo Sikoa, I believe is how you pronounce his name in NXT. I think I don't know if he's cousins or brothers with the Usos, but he is also a part of that. And there was talks that he would get called up and join the Bloodline. I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
sick. I think Naomi should have been in the Bloodline a long time ago. I know she's not
Yeah.
technically blood, but um, that would have been. They should still do that. I think I agree. I think because first of all, Brock wasn't even supposed to be in this match. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
Orton, but then Orton got hurt. So I think Roman is gonna win, ending this feud with Brock, hopefully forever, because we don't need to see these
Do
guys
you
face
think if
off.
Orton was in this match, he would have won?
No. I think I think it probably would have been Riddle would have tried to help him, but ultimately cost him the match, and then
Match, got you.
Orton
Yeah.
would have been pissed at Riddle, and then they would have feuded. I agree. I think Theory's going to cash in unsuccessfully against Roman. I don't think it's the end of the bloodline quite yet.
No, I don't think
Um,
it's the end. I don't think it's the end. That's not quite what I'm saying. I don't think it's the end of the bloodline, but
the
I think
start.
we're going to start to see some tension. Maybe the Usos won't win, but I think the best way in my head to like create tension is that Theory cashes in and the Usos try to prevent Theory from winning, but almost like cost Roman the match. Like
Yeah,
through the
I
cash
I
in.
could see.
But yeah, and then Roman's like, yo, you guys are annoying. You almost just fucked up big time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see them doing it like, because I still think the Usos are going to win, but I could see like them trying to attack Theory backstage before the match, but then like them failing,
Hmm.
or just like not doing it good enough, and then Roman is pissed at them because they didn't get the job done against Theory and like sidelining him for the entire match. But I think it would be pretty epic if The Rock showed up at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it would be pretty sick.
And
It would probably be due to like The Rock, due to Roman saying like, you know what I mean? Nice Roman promo after the match, saying that he is the head of the table and the tribal chief, and then
I could see him them doing it as like you said, like he beat everyone. He's like, I'm at the head of the table, the top of the mountain. There's no one that could beat me. I'm the best in the family. I'm the tribal chief. And then
yeah,
like the Rock comes out, and then he's like, brother, acknowledge me. And then like the Rock obviously isn't gonna have any of that. And then I mean it's a long way to WrestleMania, and I'm sure that the Rock's got a busy schedule and with like filming everything. So I don't think the chances are that high of it happening at SummerSlam, but I think if they book it sort of as like The Rock comes out, Roman's like, acknowledge me, I'm the best. The Rock's like,
because they
fuck
have to
you.
set it up because there's no reason for them to be beefing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Like the
so
storyline has written itself, but someone needs to confront the other one to have the storyline start. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And then I could just see like the bloodline just jumping The Rock and then just kicking the crap out of him, and like
Hmm.
it being like an injury, and then The Rock's also like busy schedule that he's gonna be sidelined for a while, and then like a few months down the line. Cause like The Rock is the type of person, like you don't have him show up every week for like
No,
Raw or on
yeah, yeah,
SmackDown.
yeah,
He's like once every few months he's gonna show up to like build the
totally.
feud. So I mean it would be insane if The Rock came back.
Yeah,
So I'm
would be.
praying.
That would
Um,
be pretty sick.
yes. So we're both taking Roman Reigns with an unsuccessful cash in for Theory. Overall, how excited are you for this SummerSlam premium live event, the biggest party of the year? Do you think it is going to be the biggest party of the year?
I'm more just excited to like it sounds bad. I'm more excited for it to be over just because I'm excited to see like where the storylines are post SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's more what I'm excited for.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully we'll see the end of certain feuds and then the start of a lot of other feuds. Overall, as like a whole, I'm not super excited for it. I think it has the chance to be better than people think, but there are a few matches that I'm pretty excited for. So
Hopefully we
um,
get a Johnny Gargano return.
yeah, let's all pray to the wrestling
And
gods that
hopefully we get a Rock return. That would definitely
and
make it, bro.
Bailey.
A Rock, bro. If you get a Rock return and a Johnny Gargano return and a Bailey return, nobody's talk shit on SummerSlam. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
there's no way.
You know
There's
what I
no
mean?
way. Yeah.
Even if you get 2 out of those 3.
Even if you get one, I would be pretty pumped. Even if Bailey returns, I'd be pumped.
Yeah, I'd be pumped. But if you get The Rock,
Yeah. I think you need to get Seth on the card. I don't
Yeah, you
care
got to get
who
Seth
it's
on the card.
against.
Yeah, I
Seth
agree.
needs to be on the card. So, all
Agreed.
right. That's gonna wrap it up. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and
Oh,
TikTok at
briefly, actually, just got to
Lay It On Me.
mention really quick. Um, WrestleMania 40
Oh,
announced for Philadelphia, which is for those who don't know, that's our city. That is the city closest to me and Mark, Philadelphia sports fans. And WrestleMania 40 will be at Lincoln Financial Field, home of our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And
go Birds.
this is yeah, it was announced WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, and truly a dream come true that this is happening. And we're gonna be there. We're gonna be
We'll
there,
be there.
no doubt,
We'll be there.
zero doubt.
Um,
For those of you who don't know, Philadelphia is also the birthplace and home of ECW. Paul Heyman, godfather of ECW. Um, and I think you might have mentioned it, but possibly Heyman Hall of Fame.
you got to do it.
You got to do
They
it,
have
right?
to. There's no other choice. You have to. If the first time in 25 years that WrestleMania is going to be in Philadelphia, you have to induct Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
So it's a once
yeah.
in a lifetime opportunity for us.
Dude, I
to
want to go to the Hall of like, dude. If Heyman's in the Hall of Fame ceremony, Paul Heyman is like my favorite, just like wrestling figurehead person ever. Like,
Yeah.
I want to just have a conversation with him to learn from him, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he is, but yeah, such a big deal. If you're a wrestling fan and you're in the Philly area, I highly suggest go. It's like seriously going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I seriously, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come. Hopefully, dude, like that whole week is going to be insane. Like
Yeah. So
WrestleMania week. You know what I mean? That whole week
yeah,
is in
there's
Philadelphia, bro. It's like
so WWE holds like a whole week event. So they'll have Monday Night Raw, they'll have SmackDown, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, all will be taking place at the Wells Fargo Center. And then they do have other like charity events and stuff alongside. Apparently, it's like a big deal. Like when they went to Dallas last year, I can't remember like the technical term, but it brought in like $200 million for like the city of Dallas and like
bro, it's like
Arlington.
it's gonna
It's a
be
big deal.
insane. Like I was trying to explain it to my girlfriend. I was like, no, I was like, you don't understand. I was like, people from the entire I was like, don't go to work that week. I was like, work from home. I was like, people from literally the entire world will be in the city of Philadelphia for this. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
when the fucking Pope came. It's gonna be like insane. It's gonna be
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. So we're pumped for that. We're definitely going to go to that. If you live in the Philadelphia area, I would highly recommend you do it because it's probably the only chance you'll get
Yeah,
for quite some time. Because we weren't
probably.
even born the last time it was held here.
Yeah, we weren't born, and you gotta think like I don't know. Like it's not very they don't it's dude, it's really not like the reason that it's so rare too is like cuz now with how now with WrestleMania being outside, like they got to like weather permitting, like they had WrestleMania the one time like last time they were in like a somewhat cold climate was not like cold. I'm not saying it's going to be cold out cuz it's like end of March, it's like springtime, but like it's the
Yeah.
beginning of spring, like it's still not warm. Like the last time they did it in like a northern climate, I guess, was when they were at MetLife Stadium, and when they were in New Jersey, right, or the New York
Yeah.
run, and it was like kind of cold. I remember it was like 50 degrees. It was like
Yeah.
like so, they just like they only do it in like places like that, like every few years, just because nobody's trying to go. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like nobody's
Yeah.
like just
It's
weather
hard to
permitting.
predict the
So
weather.
yeah, so like it's a lot easier to do it in places in the South and like
Yeah.
California and things like that. So especially since
Yeah.
they're doing it outdoors now. But
Yeah. All right. That's gonna wrap up the show. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at @MarkIzzo_wave. You can follow Dillon on Instagram at DillonO'Brien714. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at The Burnt Hammer. Subscribe to our YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to it, subscribe, follow us, whatever it is that platform does. I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien. And this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast.